Hey, so today we're going to be talking about how to get more clients for your bookkeeping business.
Recording in progress.
So the reason why learning how to get more clients for your bookkeeping business is important is because, really, in order for something to be considered a business, it's going to be making money. If it's not making money, it's still considered a hobby. Now, a lot of people, what happens is they try and move and try and grow, but they never really get it past that hobby stage. What ends up happening most times is that their friends and family talk them out of the business. Like, oh well, it's not working. You're not making any money. You might as well quit. Maybe you should do something different. Are you sure this is the thing you should be doing? And it's like most people can't handle that onslaught of just I don't know, just kind of negativity from friends and family, and they end up quitting. Now, for me, I personally, when I was getting started, didn't know anybody, right? So I didn't talk to my family really about my business. I didn't talk to friends about it, because I was really shell-shocked because I had started a business before it, which was like e-commerce. I was selling things like eBay and on Amazon, and that didn't work out. And everybody knew that what I had tried was failing. So, or had failed, so I had stopped, but they didn't really know that, right? So it was always, how is that business doing? How's your e-commerce business doing? You still selling a lot of products? No, I kind of shut that down. I just wasn't making any money. It was very, very, very embarrassing. Now, today in this kind of conversation, I want to kind of talk about the overview of different marketing phases from different points of growing your business. So 0 to 5 / 0 to 10K, then 10K per month to 20K per month, right? Because they are slightly different depending on where you are inside your business. Also, if you want some help growing your business, maybe you've been thinking about growing your business and you've been trying, but it's just not quite going the way that you want. Or maybe you're thinking about starting and it's just so many different things that are in your way, so many different obstacles you have to overcome, so many different things you don't really know how to handle, and you just want a solid roadmap to be able to grow your business. Either way, if you want some help, go ahead and click the link inside the description, either above or below the video, to book a call with myself to see if I can help you inside of our mentorship program. Awesome. So let's go and attack this thing. So phase number one of growing your business, this is 0 to 10K, just straight up. Number one, you have to be putting a lot of importance on relationships. Now, the reason why I say relationships, it's really contacts lead to contracts, which leads to cash in hand. So the more people I know, the more money I'm going to make in 90% of cases in business, especially if you're dealing with a business like ours where it's almost every single person on the planet needs it. Now there are some businesses that won't need it, right? If they're making $1 a year, they're not going to need your services. But almost all the 30.3 million businesses in the United States are going to need that service, right? So a couple different things. Since you've been living life, you probably have friends, family, acquaintances, old bosses, places you've worked where they could either refer work to you, or they could give client, or they can directly become a client. So really understanding number one, how to utilize existing networks. So one of our students named Mike, now his claim to success was that he had been working different various jobs, both in the accounting field, outside the accounting field, for a number of years. And the first thing we did was he actually went back to one of his old jobs, kind of an IT kind of company, and basically had a number of clients they sent to him. So just by learning how to tap into that original market, the leads started coming to him. And since they came through referrals, they're more willing to pay his high price points, and they're very, very excited to actually get started and work with him. So it was a very, very it was a very rewarding type of activity to go back through, right? Because many people, they kind of feel they've been living life and maybe they don't have the life they want, but the life, you got to use the life you have to kind of create the life you want. That's one thing that I always wanted to do. So a big thing for me is when I was first getting started, I used all my remaining money that basically came from eBay and Amazon to really start building my bookkeeping business. Right, so I invested in courses, masterminds. I started dabbling with buying leads, started paying for LinkedIn premium services to make sure that I knew that I could really hit the ground running and give myself the best chance to kind of succeed. Right. Next thing is again, continuing the existing networks, leveraging that. Really, the first step is to identify who are the business owners or who are potential referral partners. So on most social media platforms, you can actually go and click something that says download your data. When you download your data, it puts all of your contacts on a spreadsheet, which you can then organize. From there, you can start having conversations with all those people that either own a business or you think could refer clients to you. Now, once you have that list of people, I would just maybe go through each one of their profiles just to see kind of what's up? Do they have potential leads? Could they be a potential partner? And then start your outreach. Also, some things to know, like old clients, if you were like in a client type of job, if you were like, maybe reaching out to old employers that you work for, even if you don't know if they necessarily could utilize your help, maybe they can send you some referral, right? And just really start broadening out that search over time. But I'm always thinking about like, what is the closest to home, and then spread out, right? Because the closer someone is to you already, the easier it is to get them to want to work with you, because you don't need to objection handle. You don't need to convince. They already like you. So they're more predisposed to actually wanting to work with you. The next thing is to start using a social media presence, okay? So I like social media, and it's not that social media is like this magic place. It's just the fact that it's just the most convenient place to store contacts. Remember we said contacts lead to contracts, which lead to cash in hand, right? Because the only difference between the word contact and contract, the only difference is the letter R, which stands for relationships, right? So I just have to build my lead list long enough and then start building those relationships, so now I can start getting contracts with these people. So I do that using Instagram, and I do that using LinkedIn. Now for me personally, I like LinkedIn. I used to be really big on Instagram, but Instagram has not treated me well over the last like 2-3 years, and like my Instagram accounts keep getting like disabled and stuff. So I am anti-Instagram. Anti-Instagram for a lot of reasons. So I prefer using LinkedIn just because like the way that you can communicate with people is a lot more efficient, and like you can do a lot more research before you actually go reach out, so you can kind of tell how much money is this person making. You can also tell like, do they have someone in-house that's doing the service? If not, there are other like we call them signals that you can use to identify if a person is more likely to end up working with you. Now, the reason why developing your online presence is also important is because once you've built your lead list up to a critical mass, that's like a significant portion of people. Generally for me, it's between about 750 to about 1,500 people. Then you can start doing stuff like posting, right? Where you're like maybe teaching, educating, adding value, giving tips, giving reasons why people should work with you. That's when those posts start working. Because until you have people who can see your posts, if you're posting, it's just not going to get shown to multiple people. Like let's say you have like 300 people, like it's only going to get shown to like 5 to 10% of those people. So I mean, you might be, so we said 300, you might be getting seen by like 30 people. That's not really enough for you to be able to go and get clients, right? Because I'm assuming that a lot of these leads that you maybe have inside the 300 might not be fully qualified. Like they might be like friends and family, right? So you have to build that lead list large enough. Ideally, you're going to be shooting between 2,000 to 4,000 people accepting your LinkedIn connection request over the course of a year to really hit 6 figures. Ideally, it'd be a little bit less than that, probably about like 1,000, 1,500, because if you start getting clients for like 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 a month, you don't need quite as many clients. I'm just assuming it's kind of like worst case, it'll be about 2,000 people. Now, one thing that's very important when you're doing like your social media is you have to understand how to message people to get them to want to work with you, right? There's direct, there's indirect. Direct is like you send someone a connection request and you immediately go, hey, buy my stuff. It's like kind of like a buy or die mentality. Now, that rubs a lot of people the wrong way. Some people, they like it, right? They're very direct people, but most people are not going to buy from that. So you end up like just really like burning that list. So rather than you needing 2,000 people, you might need 20,000 people, right? How do I know this? Because one time when I first got started, I was doing like LinkedIn. I built up a profile. I had like 10,000 business owners. They're all like therapists. And I was literally just shooting out, hey, do you want to work with me? Do you want to work with me? Do you want to work with me? Out of those 10,000 people on LinkedIn, I got 0 clients. 0 out of 10,000 LinkedIn connections. That's not like me sending out 10,000 connection requests. 10,000 people accepted my connection request who owned a business and ended up not working with me because I was doing the messaging wrong. So it's like that can waste so much time if you don't know what you're doing. Now, once I started switching things around, I started understanding messaging. That's when things got a lot clearer, right? And we have message scripts we give to the students inside of the actual program, so you don't have to wonder about like what to say. You can make sure you're giving yourself the highest likelihood, the highest percentage chance of succeeding when it comes to messaging. A good example is actually one of our students named Audrey. So anytime that she wants to get clients, I was just telling someone this the other day, it's like anytime that she wants to get clients, and like she takes vacations a lot. Like she was on vacation pretty much the whole month of June and I think half of July. So I think it's like middle of July right now. So she should be coming back soon. I think it's July 18th as I record this video right now. And it's one of those things. It's like whenever she wants to go and get new leads, she just waits until like a major holiday, and then you can send a message to that lead list. It's like once you build it up, you can keep cycling through. When I say cycling through, like going back to the same people who might have told you no, who might not have been ready, and see if they are ready to actually moving forward. That's the biggest thing. If you can just do that, like I know this sounds very simple. I know it's like, Bryce, it can't be that easy. Like it just can't be that easy. Why this picture of Audrey? If you're watching the PowerPoint version, so there's two different versions going on. There's a PowerPoint. There's a talking head, right? So I like to film like anywhere between like 2 to 3 videos all at one time, just so I can like add a spin on it and stuff like that. So I know this stuff is simple. It doesn't make sense. What do you mean like Audrey can just send a message when people want to work there? What? It's like, if you don't know what you're doing, you have to be complex. You're going to try the advertising, you're going to try building the website, you're going to make the brochures, you're going to make the online portfolio. But when you know what you're doing, you can afford to make things simple. And I need to be simple because I need to scale, right? If things take too many different micro steps in order to make it work, it's never going to work at scale, and you could never have someone do the work, do it for you, right? Because you're always kind of at mercy of having to be the best ever to do it. Okay? Next thing.
Recording stopped.